Okay, last night I got to go see Oz Perkins the monkey. And if you know anything about me or this channel, you know I'm a big Oz Perkins fan. I've been a fan since The Black Coat's Daughter, so it's been about 10 years. I think that was 2015. And then Gretel and Hansel, and more recently Longlegs, and now this. And then at the end of the film, there is a post-credit scene for his next film, which he's going to release later this year, called The Keeper. Now, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so it's going to be a little difficult to tell you anything about the movie, but I thought we could at least start out this way. The Monkey is based on the short story by Stephen King and is part of the Skeleton Crew, the Skeleton Crew collection. And I still have my original hard copy, or maybe I have to repurchase this hard copy. I can't exactly remember. But I haven't read The Monkey, which is only about a 20-page story, probably since 1980. So, or, late 80s, something like that. So I don't exactly remember all the details of it. I do remember that it's not a horror comedy, which is what Oz Perkins has turned this film into. But let's take a quick look at a summary here from Wikipedia. And it says The Monkey is a 2025 comedy horror based on the 1980 short story by Stephen King. The film adaptation is written and directed by Oz Perkins. It stars Theo James. And I'm not going to get into too many other of the actors because there's some surprises in there that I don't want to spoil for you. And it says its plot follows twin brothers whose lives are turned upside down by a cursed toy monkey that causes random horrific deaths. Now, the problem I had was that going into this yesterday, I'm overcome with this cold bug, flu bug, whatever you want to call it. And so I caught a 7:10 feature on a Friday night and 30 minutes of previews. So close to 8 o'clock, 7:40 start time, I started to dip down. So I'm like, oh boy, I'm not going to be able to pay attention. I'm going to need to see this again. But I have to tell you, I like the movie. It is not the stereotypical bleak, dark odyssey that Oz Perkins takes you on for Longlegs or The Black Coat's Daughter or I Am the Pretty Thing in the House. It is just that, a horror comedy. And I'm not usually a fan of horror comedy, but this is extremely well written and extremely well performed by everybody in there. And it's not like laugh out loud funny like you're watching an old Rodney Dangerfield movie, but it's just that the deaths are so over the top and not taken seriously in a Final Destination kind of way. They're just absurd. And they're violent and they're gory. And a couple of them too get you. You're like, oh, that's okay. That's awful. There are several scenes in there where you feel that Oz scrapes beneath the surface, that superficial layer of comedy, and starts to really touch you with some horror. And I will say that one of the people I really enjoyed in the movie was Tatiana Maslany. And Tatiana Maslany played the She-Hulk. She played Jen Walters in Disney's She-Hulk, which I was not really a fan of, but in this, she was fantastic. And there are a lot of people, there are a lot of characters in the story that sort of play that sort of absurdist comedy, almost stoner kind of characters that just come in for their 5 minutes and they do their thing and, they kind of make you laugh and then they're just gone. I am not stereotypically a fan of horror comedies, but this was on the money. This was on the money. I enjoyed it a great deal. I think one of the other things that it touches on really well, given that Theo James is playing two parts as a twin, as an adult. I mean, it starts off as a childhood twin, so they are played by separate actors. But then as they move into adulthood, played by Theo James, it touches on, I guess, what it must be like, because I'm an only child, what it must be like to live as siblings, and siblings that are extremely close in age, because there's just an awful sadistic power dynamic between these two, and you're it's terrible. It's terrible. It just must be what passes for everyday interactions between siblings that are extremely close in age. Now, again, if you're looking for the dark, almost demonic sort of thing that Oz Perkins typically brings to the big screen, you're not going to get it here. What you are going to get is a very high quality horror film. Horror comedy, yes. Is it horrific? Yes. Is it well written? Yes. Well performed? Yes. So on and so forth. I would advise you to go see it. Let's get into some of the production details. This is from Wikipedia. Let's see. Director Frank Darabont originally held the film rights to Stephen King's short story, The Monkey, and planned to begin working on a film adaptation upon completing The Mist in 2007. So that was a while ago. Itself an adaptation of one of King's novellas. Again, another banger from Skeleton Crew. The project never materialized. Going into the 2023 Cannes film market, financier Black Bear Pictures announced that a film adaptation of The Monkey was in development and up for sale to distributors. Osgood Perkins was hired to write and direct, and James Wan would produce under his Atomic Monster banner. Theo James was cast in the lead, and then you see some other names there that I'm not going to get into. I'm going to scroll past that, actually, if you're not bothering to read, because I don't want to give that away. Principal photography, I'm not going to get into that either. Yeah, let's get into it. Principal photography occurred in Vancouver from February 5th to March 22nd last year. The original story by Stephen King features a cymbal-banging monkey, but the film replaces the cymbals with a drum. According to Perkins, this change was made because the film's producer believed that the Walt Disney Company owned the rights to the cymbal-banging version of the toy on the basis of its appearance in Toy Story 3. So there's Disney throwing us another curveball. In writing the film, Perkins chose to give the film comedic elements because he thought it was more fitting for a film about a toy. And he wanted to distinguish The Monkey from more serious horror films about possessed toys. Perkins further stated that the comedy in the film intentionally avoids subtlety and makes use of extreme gore to joke about the absurdity, pointlessness, and randomness of death. Perkins stated fully to Empire on his approach to the material. I took liberties like a motherfucker. They, Atomic Monster, have very serious script. Very serious. I felt it was too serious, and I told them that doesn't work for me. The thing with this toy monkey is that people around it all die in insane ways. So I thought, well, I'm an expert on that. Both my parents died in insane, headline-making ways. I spent a lot of my life recovering from tragedy, feeling quite bad. It all seemed inherently unfair. You personalize the grief. Why is this happening to me? But I'm older now, and you realize this shit happens to everyone. Everyone dies. Sometimes in their sleep, sometimes in truly insane ways, like I experienced. But everyone dies. And I thought maybe the best way to approach that insane notion is with a smile. So, I think that this guy, let's just keep going for a second. The film's official trailer, released on January 16, 2025, amassed 43 million views online within 24 hours. After 72 hours, it had over 100 million views, according to Neon. This made it the most watched independent horror film trailer ever. This guy is going to have a dance card that's going to be full for quite a while, and I'm there for it. My rating for this film, and again, I'm keeping it spoiler-free, 3.5 out of 5. I'll end up owning it. Is it my favorite of his? No, my favorite of his is still The Black Coat's Daughter, which to me is just a magnificent piece of horror that almost no one talks about. He sort of blew up after the long legs thing, but I love talking about The Black Coat's Daughter. It's just beautiful and subtle and horrific and just black. It's just bleak and black and awful. By doing very little, it's a feeling, it's a vibe that comes out of that movie, and you're like, my God, this is magnificent. Okay, that's my video, 3.5 out of 5. Like this video, leave a comment. Are you going to see it? Did you see it? What do you think? Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. God bless you. Hey, everybody. This is the American Werewolf. Thanks for stopping by. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button. Thank you.